I'm Jen Mack. I'm the owner of One Ultimate Health and also One Retreat for Women. I wanted to go over some of the workshops that we're going to be talking about at our retreat and give just a little bit of information, actually quite a bit of information, to you about one of the workshops in this video. The next video we'll talk about the other workshop. If it's a relationship workshop, you would assume that we would be talking about relationships. Well, in fact, what we're going to be talking about is tools necessary to increase and deepen your relationships. I have to tell you just a little bit about myself. A long time ago, probably 20 years ago, I was pretty miserable in my life. I did not have many friends. I certainly did not have very many close relationships. I was living a pretty unhealthy lifestyle, and I was pretty frustrated, unhappy, and lonely. Now, I'm sure that some of you have been suggested this particular book that I'm going to talk about today, and any time that I would go to any of my friends and complain about my relationships, they would suggest this book. This book was written by Gary Chapman, and it's called The 5 Love Languages. And if you've ever been suggested this book, I would suggest you read it. I'm suggesting you read it now. This is a book about being able to express your love to another person, whether it be a partner, a coworker, your kids, your family, anybody that you want to express your love to, and communicate to them in a way that they fully understand how much you love them. Have you ever tried to communicate yourself, tried to communicate your love to somebody and they just don't seem to get it? You are emptying your heart out to them and they just don't seem to make the connection? This book will help you. I have put together not only a PDF for you to use that's right below, there's a link and you can download the PDF right below this video, but I have also created kind of a plan of action to take. Gary Chapman talks about a way to communicate your love. Basically, is to figure out what their love language is, communicate in that way to them, and they will feel your expression of love to them. So what I want to do is get right into it, give you the 5 love languages, give you some examples of what those are, and then find out what yours is and have you go and develop those relationships deeper and express your love to those people in a way that completely touches their heart. Okay? All right. The 5 love languages are quality time, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, and words of affirmation. Now let's give some examples of what those might be. Quality time is spending together, undivided time with somebody else. Not only is that being in the same vicinity, but it's eye contact, body language, doing quality activities together. It's quality conversation when you go out to dinner. Next time you go out to dinner, I want you to look around. I want you to see if other people in the restaurant are having quality conversation or if they're not. Sometimes you will see a person that's texting or on the phone while their partner is eating, or they're eating in silence. You see that a lot. Or they're eating and they're having wonderful conversation, connecting with each other. The next one, acts of service. Now, acts of service is basically being of service to somebody else. What are you doing for them? Now, this is typically some sort of a physical act. It's laundry, dishes, garbage, you're tending to the kids, you're washing their car, mowing the lawn, painting the house, shoveling the snow, whatever that you can do to help them. I often use the analogy of having a house or tending to a house as running a ship. You need a whole team of people that help keep the whole thing going together, where, you know, someone is, you know, they're shoveling the driveway while the other one is taking out the garbage. I'm making dinner while they're doing dishes, laundry, cleaning up the rooms, vacuuming. All of those things go hand in hand with keeping your house a home. And everybody should be taking part in that. Even the little kids. Everybody should do their part. Whatever's in their skill and ability to partake in. They should certainly be cleaning up after themselves. The next one, gifts. Now these can be bought, homemade gifts, or even something that you found. You know, maybe you found, think of a young child who goes out and finds a bird's nest and wants to bring it home and show it to mom. Look what I found. You know, if you ever walked on Lake Huron's beach on the eastern side of the state of Michigan, and you see sand glass. You know, that's broken glass that has been on the beach and just been worn down, where it looks like a stone almost, and all the edges are rounded. It could be a gift to somebody. So gifts are anything that is tangible item that you could give to somebody. It's also a gift of yourself. What if you went to the terminal ward at your hospital and spent time with some of the cancer patients? What if you went to a senior citizen home and you spent some time with, you know, someone who's older? You read to them, or you spent time talking to them, finding out what they've done in their life. That's a gift of giving of yourself. Okay? The fourth one, physical touch. Hugs, kisses, hand holds, arm around somebody. This is intimacy. This is anything that is physical. Now, when we talk about the love languages, this is to anybody. This is your daughter who you hug after graduation, or your 4-year-old who you put your arm around when they've skinned their knee and they fell off their bike. Anything that's physical. And the fifth one is words of affirmation. Now, these are words that are kind, encouraging, or motivating. It's also the tone of voice that you use. When you are angry, that maybe you're not using an anger tone, that you're still just displaying your disappointment maybe, but not using an anger tone. Someone with a words of affirmation love language, that might just hit right to the core of them and might to dissolve your relationship, and you don't want to do that. So anytime you're disciplining your kids, make sure that you're using the right tone when you're talking to them. Sometimes you may recognize that people with words of affirmation, if they're being talked to in a disciplinary style, they might cry, they might feel a sense of complete disappointment. They probably have a love language of words of affirmation. They don't want to disappoint. They can be your people pleasers. They want to be recognized for things that they do. Okay, so now you have them. Now what? My first challenge for you is to figure out what yours is. So you take these 5 love languages and you put them on a scale from 0 to 5. What is my physical touch need? Do I have a high physical touch need? Well, let's think about that. How do I express my love to somebody else? Am I all over them? Hugs, kisses? Do I demand sex every other day? Am I always hugging my children? Do I hug my friends? If that's a yes, then I would say one of your love languages, your physical touch love language, is probably a 4 or a 5. It may even be a 5. You'll be able to tell those people who have a physical touch need because they're constantly touching people. So they express their love to someone that way, but they also receive love that way. So if they're with someone who does not have a high physical need, they're losing out on not having that need met. So then what happens to the relationship? Well, then the relationship starts to take its toll, if you will, because now this one person with the high physical need doesn't feel loved by this other person. So there's got to be major communication that happens, some sort of compromise almost, that okay, let's not have sex every single day. How about we break it down to once a week? And maybe there's some other physical needs that can be met. Back massage, foot massage, shoulder massage, hand massage. You know, you can hold hands, walk on the beach, make sure there's tons of hugs and kisses, and you can kind of meet that need without having sex every single day. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit way to compromise. Okay. Figure out what yours is. What is yours on acts of service? Is yours, do you constantly do things for other people? Are you always moving around the house? Cleaning? Do you love to go and take your partner's car from work and go get it washed? Are you one to snap to whenever they need something? I'm really thirsty. I'll get you some water, and off you go. If they are stuck on the side of the road, you are calling the tow truck and you are there and you go tow the car. Those are all acts of service. You always hear about the couple who is in marriage therapy or couples therapy, where the wife is, you don't love me anymore, you don't spend any time with me, and the husband's like, what are you talking about? I love you. I painted the house like you asked me to. I shoveled the driveway. I mowed the lawn. I did the dishes. I made you dinner. And she's like, but you don't spend any time with me. What's the issue? Hers is quality time. His is acts of service. Let's communicate that. So then she starts doing more acts of service with him. He starts spending more time. And what happens? The relationship comes back together. Okay? So not only do you need to know what yours is so you can effectively communicate that with someone else, you also need to know what theirs is so you can express your love to them in a way that they understand. It's almost like if you were to be speaking Japanese to somebody who doesn't understand Japanese. It sounds like you're saying something loving because of your tone, but I don't understand. So there's ways to figure that out. What is your number on quality time? What is your number on acts of service? And what's your number on gifts? Now, you might have a 0. You might have a 5. You might have some high numbers in a certain area. But as you start to kind of get to know yourself a little better and you start to be aware of more of how your relationships are, you will easily start to go, oh my gosh, I have a high quality need and I have a high physical touch need. And then figure out ways to get those needs met. Now here's a good way to have this conversation with the person that you love, where maybe the relationship is not going the way you hoped it would go. And here's a good way to have that conversation. So, honey, I really love you, and I love being with you, and the things that make me feel so close to you are when we would go for walks on the beach. You remember when we used to do that? Go for walks on the beach and we would hold hands, and in your mind you're listing all of those things that fill you up, that make you feel so much love from this person. And then, so you're listing your things. These are the things I love, honey. Make a note of it, okay? Then, now you're going to find out what theirs is. So, tell me, John, what do you like or love that I do for you or to you? Well, I really love it when you give me a back massage. Could be physical touch. And I really, really love the toolbox you gave me last year. Could be gifts. Okay? Then, let's say that's where it was. That's as far as you got in the conversation. He likes the toolbox. He likes back massages. Now, that doesn't mean you run off and go get a massage certificate for him. It may, though, that could work, but it might backfire. You create an evening, or an evening a month, an evening a week, whatever your ambition is, that has those gifts in it. Let's say your relationship is really not doing very well. Not that you're heading towards divorce, but it's just not as happy and exciting as it used to be. I can guarantee you, you start to do these things, your relationship is going to go from here to here. Okay? This is a communication. Picture living with someone who speaks a different language than you. It's okay. We have dinner together. We can watch TV together. We went for walks together, but I can't understand a single thing this person's saying. To then all of a sudden, now we are speaking the same language. You set up dates that person, that include that person's love language. So now the date is something like this. He likes back massages. Honey, when you get home from work tonight, I'm going to be in the bedroom, and I'm going to give you a back massage. And I'm going to have something for you. You just triggered it. So what's he thinking about all day long? I can't wait to go home to my wife. Okay? Try it. See what happens. The next challenge I have is for you to take your top 3 troubling or difficult relationships right now and create a plan. Have the conversation and create an active plan that's going to work for you. Something just like what we just had with John. Let's say it's your son. Robert, I love you. I want to know what it is that I can do to show you how much I love you. Mom, I really liked it when we went and walked around at the mall and we bought some games and CDs. That was a lot of fun for me. Quality time. Perfect. Why don't we make a plan this weekend and go do that? Done. Guess what happens? Your relationship improves. It becomes deeper. It becomes more solidified in love, rather than this miscommunication or this willy-nilly, I don't know what our relationship is or where it's going. That it's in your control to be able to decipher what their love language is and put it into practice. So that's my challenge for you. Keep moving forward. If you get a chance to get the book, I would do it. You don't have to get the purple one. I think they have other colors. Gary Chapman spells it out very, very nicely. He also has the 5 love languages. There's a small section here about kids, but I think he also has one that's 5 love languages for kids or for teens. But either way, they're very good. It's very effective, and I can guarantee you your relationships are going to prove in what feels like overnight. So go out there, inspire the people around you, influence everyone you know, and make an impact on the world. I'll see you in the next video.